Welcome back to Fast Market. I'm Diane King Hall, live at the New York Stock Exchange alongside Kevin Hinks over at the CBOE. Time now for our cash tag segment. For that, I want to bring in Landon Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio. We're going to dive into Tesla ahead of its earnings. Now, Landon, shares of Tesla have had this steady climb since the election. The pace of gains have moderated this year, though. So what does your data show you about Tesla?
Yeah, I mean, this stock has been on a nice run over the last 6 months or so, but a little bit of a pullback recently. And when we look at the data, it's pretty strong. It's everything that we've got is strong for Tesla. The consumer is big on EVs. I mean, people are searching for EVs in general. They're also searching for new Teslas. We did see a surge in searches ahead of the potential removal of the EV credit. I think people are trying to get in on that before Trump takes that away. So we'll see how that is reflected in the earnings. But web searches are up significantly, 20% over 6 months. January was actually up 30% on a year-over-year basis. We know that they have lower production costs, and as I said, people are searching. You can see here, people searching for new Tesla is up significantly. I think the push from the full self-driving version 13.2 was really a big eye-opener for people. It's got 5x the compute powers before. It's on its way to full autonomy. If you ever speak to someone who's been in a Tesla when it's on self-driving, they're going to talk to you about it for an hour because it's so incredible, so impressive. So this is it's obviously bullish for us. This is we don't talk about this a lot, but LikeFolio has a very short list of what we call infinite hold companies. This is a company you can throw in a vault and lock the keys, and this is one of the three. So for us, Tesla is one that we love long term, but we're talking about earnings here. So how do the earnings look? How does this quarter look? I think that with the pullback in the stock from those all-time highs, even though it's on a nice little run, it has pulled back. The data that we're showing is that everything's moving in the right direction for this company. And what's interesting is, the markets have about a 7, maybe 8% expected move priced in here. And if you go back and look, that's not that big of a move for Tesla. It's big for most companies, but not that big of a move for Tesla. So I'm interested to see what the trade that Kevin comes up with is, because normally I would be a premium seller, but generally on this one, it looks like the historical move is larger than this expected move. But overall, when we look at it, when we take the score from negative 100 to positive 100 on earnings companies, this one is coming in at plus 62 this quarter. And we're obviously very bullish going into it because of the increase in the number of people looking for EVs in general, Tesla specifically, also the number of people going to the website, searching for these kind of terms, and the consumer happiness. I mean, again, anytime you get somebody on social media talking about full autonomy, they're blown away. And really, for us, it's almost like, yes, they're clearly a car company, but you can make the argument that they're an AI company before they're a car company, and I think that's what's going to separate them. Before it was the electric aspect of their vehicles that separated them, but now I think it's the full self-driving and the AI integrated that's actually separating them.
Landon, I read a very popular website, and I like it because it gives you a whole plethora of information. And there's 10 analysts on this website. And right now, one buy, here's the analyst list: hold, sell, strong sell, hold, sell. Here's our one buy, sell, and hold. So the overall sentiment on Tesla right now up at these levels is extremely negative from an analyst perspective. Now, your data, which is much more high frequency, much more on the pulse of where Tesla is, goes the exact opposite of this. So who's got it wrong, Landon? Because I think I know when I put LikeFolio data against an analyst, and you've got a stock, even though it's still up about 105% over the last 12 months, it's down 9.5% in the last month, Landon.
Right, exactly. And you know what? I mean, if I was going to be bullish going into an earnings report, I would much prefer to have 9 out of 10 analysts disagree with me than agree with me. I mean, you know, there's a lot of value in being contrarian in markets in general. So I'm fine being on the other side of this one. And of course, we don't get them right every time, but again, we've been on Tesla for over 10 years now, since we first saw that initial spike when their first car came out and people were blown away. You know, this has been one that's kind of been on LikeFolio's radar for a long time. Now, we've had some bearish quarterly calls on Tesla that we've hit, and, you know, we're not always bullish on it, but the data coming in on it this quarter is strong. Everybody's looking for ways to buy a Tesla. They're looking for more information about it. They're talking about it online, and when they are, they're talking about it positively. So this is all signs point to consumer demand increasing kind of situation, and we know that, you know, they're able to deliver right now. I mean, if you rewind 6-7 years ago, everything was, yeah, okay, maybe they have great cars, but they can't actually make that many. I mean, they just delivered 500,000 in Q4, up 2% on a quarterly basis. So they're delivering cars, they're making them quickly. The prices have come down tremendously. The technology is unbelievable, and everybody that speaks about it, that uses it, is talking positively. So, you know, maybe this is the quarter that they surprise to the upside. Maybe it's not. I'd rather bet on that than not, again, because of that expected move is somewhat low compared to historical moves. And I absolutely love being contrarian against a lot of those analysts, so I'm fine with that. Long term, this is, like I said, hold and forget. Just lock in the vault, check on it in 10 years, you'll be happy. But on this quarter, we are definitely willing to bet to the upside with that plus 62 score. As you guys know, we don't get a lot of scores over 50. I mean, every once in a while we'll get a 60, 70, and occasionally an 80 or 90. So 62 is a strong one to take into account. And again, it does look at all kinds of things, from social media to web visits, search visits, all that kind of information, as well as the stock performance. So, you know, I'm happy where we're at now. We'll see tomorrow if we're right, but I think that we have a greater than 50% chance for sure.
But Landon, to me, it begs the question on how are you looking at Tesla? You made the point earlier that, you know, and the way some analysts would measure it is as a car company, as an EV maker, right? But then there is the argument that is an AI company, which I think is the argument that Elon Musk is pushing for. So when you think about the data that you're presenting, is it from the perspective that this is an AI company or a car company? How are we measuring it?
Yeah, it's really measuring it from the consumer perception. What do consumers like? Do they like the product that's out there right now? And that is, it's a clear yes. It's a clear yes that the consumers love this product, especially at the price points that they're seeing right now. Now, when you're talking about the future, that's more when you get into the AI, because then, you know, you've got a situation where if they control the 100% of full autonomous driving vehicles, imagine the things that they can do. I mean, they're going to pick up the phone and call Uber, and that's going to be an interesting conversation, right? I mean, all of the stuff that Tesla can do, being the first and only fully autonomous car, is going to be very, very powerful. Not to mention the fact that, you know, it never hurts to be really good friends with the President of the United States and to have helped him win an election, right? I mean, that's always a good thing. So,
yes.
I like where they're headed.
As long as he can remain first buddy, because sometimes we know, sometimes those relationships, like in the first term, we know sometimes those relationships took a different direction. So as long as he stays on his good side, that probably will bode well for Tesla. All right, Landon Swan, we're gonna put a pin in our conversation. Landon Swan, thanks a ton for that data that you brought us on Tesla from LikeFolio. All right, so Landon asked a great question.